what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time this is probably going to be in one take, and I'm probably going to rant and ramble and stuff. So keep that in mind. I'm probably going to mess up on my words multiple times, but I felt like this was a topic that I needed to touch up on. So, according to some of the listings, Transformers and Studio Series is going to dive into the War for Cybertron games because we've got a listing for WFC figures, which is usually consistent with the War for Cybertron title, and we've got Bumblebee and Barricade. Now, someone had said that it's very likely that these are based on the Netflix show because technically Netflix and Rooster Teeth, they have their own studio, so they could tie into Studio Series. But to that, I'd say that line was consistent with what was going on with Generations. So that'd be something that they would do in the Legacy line, or more so the buzzworthy Bumblebee line, because, well, if we got a listing for Bumblebee and Barricade, I feel like those are two perfect contenders for the buzzworthy Bumblebee lineup, and does make sense to do a Studio Series figure of those characters. So it just doesn't seem in line with everything going on. So someone else had also said that maybe WFC might stand for Cybertronian and might be a typo, and Bumblebee was part of the line of characters that we had recently got, with Brawn, Wheeljack, Ratchet, and whatnot. And to that I'd say if they were Cybertronian, first of all, I don't think they say WFC, and two, none of them really say Cybertronian to begin with. Even the Bumblebee was B127, so he wasn't even Cybertronian at that point, or at least not listed as Cybertronian. They just had the characters and they released them. So, with the clues ahead, I think that this is more so based on the War for Cybertron games, and I'm going to touch up on why I think that might be a good idea. While some people are hesitant because they feel like Studio Series should be about the movies, I feel like this is a good benefit to the War for Cybertron characters. I feel like Generations in general is just more so about the shows and some of the characters and basing off some of those shows. If you look at the Armada Starscream, it feels pretty consistent with a lot of the other Generations figures. The reason why some of the Transformers Prime figures were redesigned is, one, you could do more repaints out of those figures, and two, because they wanted to make it consistent to what's going on with Generations so that nothing kind of feels like it's out of place. With the Studio Series lineup, you get figures and you even get molds that are, just exclusive to some of those characters. Take, for example, Dino. For the most part, looks like Dino. His alt mode had to change for the licensing's sake, but Dino hasn't gotten a remold from anybody. He just, so far, is Dino. Same thing with Jolt and some of the other characters. You take a look at some of those Bumblebee movie characters, you take a look at Soundwave, you take a look at Shockwave, Ravage, Brawn, Wheeljack, and I wanted to say Ratchet, but eventually we'll get we got the Ironhide already. But my point is that a lot of the molds are designed based off the designs that we see in the movies and in the, whatever series they're in, and they don't stray away from that. They don't try to redesign it based on what's going on with the rest of the series. I feel like that's the entire point of Studio Series, is because their design is so outside of the realm of what's going on with the regular Generation stuff that they need to make a whole new line for those specific characters. And with the studio, High Moon Studios, that's a studio, so we can add that to Studio Series. Someone also said that, well, if we're going to include that, why don't we include, KISS players? And I think that's ridiculous. Why would you do KISS players, at the start? And even if they would, I feel like some of the designs for the Transformers themselves would still be okay to put into Generations. And also, that's a really obscure thing to do that they're not going to focus on. I don't really get that comparison. But anyways, talking about this, I think that's perfectly fair, and I think the main reason why they're expanding on what they do with Studio Series, that doesn't really have a written rule of what Studio Series should be and is. The reason why they're expanding is because when you think about it, the movie characters are mostly done. For the first 3 movies, we have a handful of characters to do, so they kind of need to expand if they want to continue and also release figures throughout the next multiple movies like Rise of the Beast. I feel like War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron has such specific designs for characters that we're already getting in most of Generations that I kind of feel like it needs its own line to set it apart from everything else. And I'm excited. Hopefully we get a Voyager-class Optimus Prime because the Deluxe wasn't really working. I mean, I like the War for Cybertron toy, but a bigger one would be cool. Hopefully it follows Cybertron Megatron. I heard there was a rumor of a Warpath in Studio Series, so maybe it's that. There was a rumored Ironhide and Ratchet going into, I think, Deluxe or Voyager-class, so maybe we could also get those. That'd be pretty cool. And I want to see more Dinobots because I don't think Grimlock was just enough. I think we needed a Swoop and some of the other guys. So I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Please comment below. Let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I will see you guys next time.
AllSpark TV. Now that's just prime.